Unpleasant facts about history's 10 best people. Welcome back, history enthusiasts. In today's video, we're going to dive into the lives of some of history's most well-known individuals. While their achievements and contributions are often celebrated, there are unpleasant facts about these figures that are often overlooked. Get ready for a dose of historical reality as we reveal the darker side of some iconic personalities. Charlie Chaplin dated underage girls. Famous for his character, the tramp, the sweet little man with a bowler hat, mustache, and cane, Charlie Chaplin was an iconic figure of the silent film era. For that matter, he elevated the film industry in a way few could have ever imagined. This iconic actor, however, also had a very bad habit of chasing underage girls. When he was 30, he impregnated a 16-year-old actress, and his next relationship after that was with 15-year-old Lita Grey. Can you imagine how bad his legacy would have tarnished if Chaplin lived and worked in today's society? Winston Churchill caused Indians to starve. Undoubtedly the most famous British Prime Minister in history, Churchill is best remembered for successfully leading Britain through World War II. He was famous for his inspiring speeches, and for his refusal to give in, even when things were going badly. What most don't know, however, is that the extra supplies he used for the British people and military during World War II came from India. To make it simpler to understand, Churchill intentionally starved India, to the point he sparked the devastating Bengal famine of 1943. This famine led to the loss of 3 million Indian lives, mainly kids. Aristotle didn't think highly of women. The Greek philosopher Aristotle made significant and lasting contributions to nearly every aspect of human knowledge, from logic to biology to ethics and aesthetics. In Arabic philosophy, he was known simply as the first teacher, while in the West he was considered the philosopher. According to a 7-year study conducted by MIT University Media Lab, Aristotle was found to be the most influential human being to ever live, even ahead of religious figures such as Jesus, Muhammad, and Buddha. For all his greatness and contributions to the world, Aristotle had his flaws too. To be more specific, he saw women as subject to men, but considered them to be higher than slaves. He thought that a good woman should raise the kids, be a good housewife, and lack any kind of social authority. He suggested that the husband should exert political rule over the wife. I am not sure if modern feminists would like to be around Aristotle. Abraham Lincoln didn't see black people as true Americans. There's no doubt that Abraham Lincoln is one of the most influential and important Americans to ever live. For all the good he did for this country, though, he definitely wasn't perfect. As history has rightfully taught us, Lincoln often expressed moral opposition to slavery in public and private. "If slavery is not wrong, nothing is wrong," he stated in a now famous quote. He eventually became the president that abolished slavery. Soon after that, however, he contemplated sending freed slaves back to Africa. In other words, Lincoln may have been against slavery, but at the same time, he didn't really see black people as an intrinsic part of American society. Albert Einstein's genius was overrated. Although the famous scientist didn't do something evil or wrong, the truth is that his genius has been ridiculously exaggerated by modern media. To begin with, Albert Einstein's failures, including the first 7 proofs of E equals Mach 2, and his early understanding of clock synchronization, appear to be far more than his correct theories. There's no doubt that, for his time, he was one of the greatest geniuses in physics. However, if he were magically transported to today's physics environment, he would only be decent. In other words, Einstein was a big fish in a small pond. But in the big ocean of physicists that we have today, there are undoubtedly bigger fish. Martin Luther King Jr. was a certified plagiarist. Martin Luther King Jr. is considered the face of the civil rights movement and one of the most respected men in contemporary American history. However, in his personal life, he wasn't all that great. King allegedly plagiarized parts of his doctoral thesis on systemic theology, while many of his famous speeches have been proved to be the result of plagiarized content as well. However, the most eye-opening part of Dr. King's personal life were his numerous extramarital affairs, which led to Lyndon B. Johnson calling him a hypocritical preacher. Frank Sinatra's mafia ties. Frank Sinatra was an American singer, actor, and producer. He's one of the most popular and influential musical artists ever. with many music experts describing him as the greatest American singer of the 20th century. Other than his great vocal skills and big hits, Mr. Sinatra is also notorious for his connections with the mafia and for being a very jealous husband. During one argument with his then-wife and famous actress Ava Gardner, he supposedly fired a gun into a hotel room mattress to threaten her. Mother Teresa may not be as holy as portrayed. Mother Teresa may have become a saint from the Catholic Church, but the work of the most famous Catholic nun in history has received mixed reactions from prominent people, governments, and organizations. Her practices and those of the Missionaries of Charity, the order which she founded, were subject to numerous controversies. These include objections to the quality of medical care they provided, suggestions that some deathbed baptisms constituted forced conversion, and alleged links to colonialism and racism. Mother Teresa has also received extensive media coverage. Some critics suggest that the Church used her image to promote Catholicism and divert the public's attention from sexual abuse cases. Nelson Mandela was not a family man. Nelson Mandela led the emancipation of South Africa from white minority rule and served as his country's first black president. He became an international emblem of dignity and forbearance. Despite being a great man on the world stage, he wasn't a good father or husband in his home life. To get a better idea, Mandela didn't even attend the birth of his daughters. To put it simply, Mandela was not a family man. Could he have been? Taking into account all his troubles with the racist South African laws of his time and his imprisonment, the answer is, probably not. Muhammad Ali was a separatist. Ali is another modern icon that has been worshipped by Western media as an anti-racist rebel when in reality many of his beliefs were racist and misogynistic. Other than being unfaithful and considering women inferior human beings, Muhammad Ali called fellow African-American boxer Joe Frazier ugly, and Uncle Tom, and a gorilla. During a racist delirium he had on live TV, Ali openly admitted that interracial relationships and marriages are pretty much a mistake and a sin against God and Mother Nature. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey through the unpleasant facts about history's main people. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking explorations into the intriguing aspects of the past. Until next time, keep questioning and learning from the lessons of history.